Dear friends, I'm about to play a song that is a Johnny Cash cover that probably most of you already know, and I've just changed some bits. Thanks.
Grazie. 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 Tu mi metto qui. Tolgo la chitarra. Io non vorrei che cada, No. Cioè, mi dispiace. Vieni qua, Peppe, vieni qua. Peppe, vieni. Mi dispiace per la chitarra. Scusate, accidenti. È caduta la chitarra, ma ringrazio il nostro chitarrista. E scusate per questo macello. Allora, in questa seconda parte,
second part, or in this video if you follow it as a replay, we look at the next sutra of the Light of the Path. Very powerful. But first I want to show you something. In science, I'm more into physics, but in all the science, when a scientist is studying a phenomenon, is separate from it. For example, an astrophysics who is studying black holes, that is very actual, and it is linked at the relativity, space-time warp, etc. When a physician is studying black holes, for example, there is a separation between him and the black holes, very separate, even because black holes are not nice place to live in. If he was in those black holes, he would die, even if some says that they could be a portal, and I don't say it's wrong, because we don't know. Anyway, who is studying it, maybe in an observatory, with a long telescope? Sorry, we can't see black holes, so I take an example on a star. With a long telescope, he looks after a star, finding out what is happening out at the star, nuclear reaction, electromagnetic radiation, the wavelength we see in the sky. So this scientist will change ideas and his heart through this discovery. But what he is studying and the one who is studying are separate. The light on the path and all the mystic teachings underline that knower and known are one. You see, that doesn't mean that science has no meaning, and as a physician I love it deeply and I welcome all the scientists, either theoretical and experimental one. We have Jack that is a researcher, Newton is studying physics, and we don't have anything against it. But if the masters are right, this kind of knowing, based on the separation between knower and known, cannot lead to the discovery of God. So God, all happiness, liberation, are not about me, that I discover, understand something about God, because there is still a separation between knower and known. The great master says that God is known when knower and known are one. So science, that we love, could not help to discover God. Obviously, if you don't consider God as someone with a bird on top of a cloud who judges that never exists and never even died, as Nietzsche says. So this dualistic vision must be transcended, and it is what is talking about the first sutra we are going to read today. So it is very important to see there is a knowledge, the I that knows something that is similar to I make some experience, and from that experience I change, but I'm still in the person who is developing, or I know something and from those knowledge I change, like what is happening in science, but also in the field of literature, poetry. Bodhi is studying literature in university, Tesla is studying history, Shakespeare, Dante is studying literature, but there is still someone who is studying something. The first sutra we are going to read today is very powerful. I've already talked about it in other meetings during the lockdown, and I've been very happy to offer it, and many of you have followed it, and says, kill out all sense of separateness. I've already told you that in this book, to kill is not that we are against something, but it has more to do with detachment, to see through things through love, acceptance that leads to transcendence. But here we have strong words, kill out sense of separation, because these words are also for people who are, allow me, in the duality we just talked about, knower, unknown. So using words like this can help to see that first I have to overcome, to kill the sense of separateness, and then I'll realize that this separation will die by itself, simply by not giving any energy and feeding it, not giving attention, not giving it energy through belief. So kill is more about not to feed the illusion of separation. This is very powerful and very important to understand, and we are going to dive in it gradually. In this meeting we are also going to talk in a very simple way of atomic physics, and I will show you something that we will see going on with the reading. First, I'm going to read those wonderful sutras that, dear friends, they open the heart. I'm going to read them all together now. Kill out all sense of separateness. Kill out desire or sensation. Kill out the hunger for growth. Yet, stand alone and isolated, because nothing that is embodied, nothing that is conscious of separation, nothing that is out of eternal can aid you. Learn from sensation and observe it, because only so can you commence the science of self-knowledge? Here, self-knowledge means to know the knower. And plant your foot on the first step of the ladder. Grow as the flower grows, unconsciously, but eagerly anxious to open its soul to the air. So must you press forward to open your soul to the eternal. But it must be the eternal that grows. How beautiful it is. I start again. But it must be the eternal that draws forth your strength and beauty, not desire of growth. For in the one case, you develop in the luxuriance of purity. In the other, you harden by the forcible passion of stature. We've just seen, or we have seen in the previous meeting, that when we spoke about Dante, only pure of heart can enter in the initiation of fire, and those wonderful sutras only speak about helping the heart to discover the purity, this purity. First, I want to talk about the inner clicks, and I ask to all the friends to follow me in the kitchen because I need to use the blackboard. Thank you, Newton.
Delle inquadrature. Venite con calma. Di guardare questa parte. Sì, giusto, grazie, sì. Allora, accenno, già che ne abbiamo
We have already talked about this subject in a video about physics and consciousness.
Abbiamo già trattato di questo in un video di fisica e coscienza. Ulisse vuole uscire in giardino, faccio uscire, scusate.
So I'm not going too much into it. You will find some detail in a video in which we've spoken about atomic model, Bohr, and so on. So I'll make a very simple model that is not precise, but it is only an approximation. And imagine the nucleus of an atom that has different levels, and those levels are quantized. They cannot be wherever they want, but they must be at precise distance from the nucleus. This has to do also with quantization and with the Planck constants, but I don't want to talk about it. And imagine an electron. This drawing is wrong because I'm making a precise trajectory in a precise point, and this would go against the principle of indetermination of Heisenberg. So you have to see this not as a precise trajectory, but as a very probable trajectory, and you have to imagine the electron not as a spot, but as a set of possibilities to find it in a certain area, okay? I'm using a little bit of a technical terms, but it's just to say that this is an approximation, this drawing, and it's not precise. You can look more about it in internet or in a video of ScuolaNonScuola. So what's happening in atomic physics? That an electron can jump from a level to another one, going up or going down, if we imagine a lower level, in a quantistic jump. That is a peculiar jump, going from where the electron disappears here to here. We don't know anything what happened. This is something totally indeterminate. I remind you that for the beginning, in the middle of this level, there is no air. Air is made of atoms, so it's not possible, but I'm not going to it. You can look by yourself through internet because it's a little bit complicated. So this electron can appear here in a higher energetic level and can appear here in a lower energetic level. To move away from the nucleus and to reappear in a farther orbit, he needs to absorb energy. And this energy could come from a photon, from light, from an impact, from thermic energy. It is for that the new fusion power station, that different from the fission one, and that they don't exist yet, they could be a very good help for energetic problem. We have received a condition to consider nuclear energy as something wrong, but the energy of fission power station produce many radioactive waste and do a lot of pollution that lasts for a long period. But the fusion nuclear station produce energy by the fusion of two nucleus, and they produce small waste that don't last long. So when we say no to nuclear, we say no to fission nuclear, but without knowing that there is also fusion nuclear, that from a theoretical point of view we already know quite a lot. And I believe that in the nuclear fusion there is something mystical, as it is an energy that comes from an union, as it is a union that gives energy to universe. You may say it's absurd, but I remind you that sun and the moon give the energy and shine thanks to the nuclear fusion that has nothing to do with the fission nuclear stations, but that we can try to study, as it is a kind of fusion. I gave you this information so you can look for more if you want. I want to show you that this jump is something very mysterious, and it is not as if I'm going to throw the chalk to Pepe and the chalk to go from here to Pepe would travel all along the space between me and him. But we don't know what this electron does in this quantistic jump. And look for it. It is called the quantistic jump, the quantic jump, and it is something incredible and miraculous and mysterious. What we know is that to make that jump to a higher or lower level, some energy must be absorbed or given. If the electron gives energy, he goes in a lower level of energy. If the electron takes some energy, he jumps in a higher level of energy. In the atomic physics, there is a book called Bransden that I use as a student, and is about atomic and molecular physics. This change of level, the electron can find itself in different levels. I make it very simple. The electron can fall down. For example, the electron can absorb energy and jump in a higher level, then waste energy, releasing radiation, and fall in a lower level. Or it can absorb energy and free itself. That means not being conditioned by the nucleus. And for example, in the metal, it becomes an electron of conduction, or it could go in the more external level, becoming an electron of valence. Metals like gold, silver, or platinum are shiny because they have a lot of conduction electron. And they have ability to conduct the light. You can look it by yourself as well. Why am I talking of those jumps? I believe that the process of these inner clicks are very similar to the electron that jump. The electron to jump at a higher level means less conditioned by the nucleus, in other words, less attached to matter. We are going to talk about this in the path of light. The electron to direct himself to liberation from attachment of the nucleus. That could be many things, dear friends. It could be attachment in believing to be a person, at the family, friends, money, to all form of attachment. And it could be many different attachment altogether. The electron doesn't jump in a higher level thanks to a struggle, but thanks to a gift that is called grace, thanks to some inner click. The electron jump in a higher level. It could even set himself free from all the conditioning from the nucleus and become an electron at service that leads is at service of something. For example, is going to be a service to other. And when I was talking about those things to friends, they were considering me like a little bit crazy. But I think that nature teaches us even through atomic physics, and that's incredible. An electron can go back to a lower level, But when someone has made some inner clicks, even if only merely touch them, those inner clicks make me even make me understand that there is something beyond me. So it's like I'm imbued by an inner click I've experienced, and even I have fallen down again. I make more mistake. I'm lost again. But these inner clicks somehow they are deep inside, even if I don't realize it. I know clear deep inside there is something that is beyond what can be seen by the eyes or see by the mind. This is why something in the inner click, even if I fall down again in a lower energy level, anyway, I am this inner click stays inside. I can fall in a lower level, but something stays. I know that there is something beyond me. I can continue to live for myself without being at service. But now I won't be able to be like before because I've noticed I'm not here only to live the life of a personality, of the person. So I end this reminding you that an electron can jump in a level of less attachment at the nucleus thanks to something that gives him energy, and that at an inner level we call it inner clicks. And those inner clicks are gifts, and their gift is not that the more they want men and the more you have them, is more often the opposite. And now the light of path is talking just about this, and it will remind you that the electron can either go further away from the nucleus to be less attached to the material core of life, or to jump away from atoms and to free himself from the conditioning of the nucleus. It may look stupid, absurd, but this is the enlightenment of the electron. An electron that jumps beyond the atoms and doesn't kick off the atom. It doesn't say fuck the atoms. It's simply not conditioned by the atom. The electron is free from the atom, but the atom still exists. But he is not conditioned by it. In classical physics, there is what is called the escape velocity, and it is a speed through which an object can go beyond the gravity of the planet and launch it in the orbit of the planet. And then if we give further more energy to this object, this will be completely freed from the influence of the gravity of the planet, and it will flow in the endless space, or maybe it will attract by another planet, who knows. And it is as if, in a deeper level, with a quantistic physics, I'm talking very simple physics, I'm not going too deep in the physics, it exists the enlightenment of the electron, that is the possibility to be set free, and this happens thanks to a gift, and not thanks to the strength of the electron, but from something that the electron can receive, not from something from what the electron can do. So when we start to open to grace, to start to go off service, to have a pure heart, bless the pure of heart, quoting the God and Dante, it is like if we have a higher level of probability to make some jumps. It is not a mathematical law, it is a probabilistic law. It is more likely that with an open heart we receive some gift that will lead us to transcend the conditioning of the nucleus. I have a question. How is the nucleus conditioning you? Can you feel at what you are more attached to? Very often I met people that say, I'm not scared of death. It's not true. Take this person, take the remote control and go forward and see he, when she's dying, and see if she's what she told 20 years older, I'm not scared of death, it's true. Very rarely it's true. Death is something that forces you to abandon any kind of control. You don't know when it happened. It will not happen when we want it to happen. It will not happen the way we would like it to happen. the people are not scared, they are panic in front of it. But often they are so stoned with the medicine they take close to death that this panic doesn't really show, or maybe you don't even see it, but it is there. Why do I say so? Because maybe you could, at least in this life, as in many you have already died this way, not die this way. And this opening of the electron that allow it to receive something that provoke this jump in a higher level, that it is as if I'm still in a personal consciousness, but I live in a higher state of consciousness, even if I believe to be a person. This is a person, an electron, that raised to a higher level, in which things are going quite smoothly. He doesn't live with economical struggle. He has an happy, healthy body. If he get ill, he recover early, or if he have an economical issue, they resolve quickly. If some friends are a little bit problematic, life take them away, and new and more suitable friends comes. It is a person that it is in the flow, but it is still linked to the nucleus. That is, even everything is fine, he or she is still believing to be a person, even if this identity is very light. And there is the possibility that the electron jump completely beyond the identity of the person. In the Buddhism, of the origin, those persons are called arat, people who have jumped beyond the person. And it is something very powerful, and I invite you to explore more about that. While reading those sutras, please keep in mind this simple image of the electron that can jump in a higher level by absorbing the energy that allow me the universe offer him, or the electron that can also jump at a lower level of energy, losing energy. I give you an example of what losing energy means: to dedicate all our attention to material life, the one that in the previous meeting we have called escape from the present, or escape of the past and the future, in this panel that we try to facilitate and with the theoretics. Even if it is not us who provoke them, we try to facilitate them. We have also said something that a person that sometimes have an inner click and jump on a higher level, even if it could fall back a lower level of consciousness, it will not be like before, because now something deep inside remain, maybe forgotten, maybe hidden, maybe for now not listened to, that says life is more than this. Life is not only jobs, kids, loans, success, fulfillment of desire. I've touched something else, and it is ineffaceable. So when I fall in a lower level of energy, something inside remains and remind me of the light. So, good. Inviting you to investigate more, now we are going to read the Sutra of the Path of Light, keeping in mind this example. Forgive me if it is trivial, but I hope it could help better this incredible text. We go in the other room. Thanks to everyone.
Oltre agli amici c'è pure Peppe, perché Peppe invece non è un amico. Che dite? Dove metto? Qui. Sul divano? Sì. Ok. Mettete pure qua.
The enlightenment of the electron is to help you to have some intuition. Don't walk around saying PG, saying that the electron are enlightenment, repeating some mantras or similar. That was not my intention.